It's very difficult, a life as a royal servant, simply because while you're serving that particular royal person, it's fine. And then, sadly, if they demise, the problem that you have is this. Sometimes you're kept on, sometimes you're given a lesser role, but more so, you're normally asked to leave or you politely, decide to move on yourself, simply because you feel that there is nobody better to work for. It happens on many similar occasions. I've met so many people who have worked for the British monarchy and gone on to this. I think the worst one for me was a guy called Backstairs Billy, that was a devoted person to the late Queen Mother. And sadly for him, when she passed away, there wasn't really a role for him. And he did sort of fall into a very sad decline. What a character he was, though. But now, of course, as we told you recently, there's a bigger problem for someone who was very devoted to our late and beautiful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, Angela Kelly, the dresser, the Liverpudlian with a very, very sharp wit, and a person who simply does not take any prisoners. Well, as we told you, the one person that Prince Harry feels very nervous about would be Angela Kelly putting pen to paper. But that's seemingly now a bigger option because she does have a 3-book deal remaining with a particular publisher. And part of the book deal was this, that she was going to be detailing the late Queen's wonderful and varied and flamboyant at times fashion. But now that apparently has hit something of a stumbling block. But here's the true story behind that. What the story is claiming is that Angela now no longer has access to a lot of the archive that she would have needed to look at, photograph, possibly, look up some notes, that sort of stuff. She's a savvy girl, Angela. She would have already seen this and possibly taken pictures and all the relevant information that she needs. But now the bigger picture is this, of course, as the rest of the senior royals were not necessarily that keen, and as ever we have to say allegedly, on the closeness of the relationship between Miss Kelly and the late monarch. Many are deciding, well, they simply don't want to assist or indeed move forward. That is the basic narrative. But now, of course, this big paycheck's looming, dropping through the door of that grace and favour apartment, albeit reduced on a daily basis. They wouldn't mind her being a commenter on, of course, the forthcoming coronation. And when you think about it, American television will pay a lot of money for that sort of thing. Let's not forget, way back over 10 years ago now, NBC splashed out thousands and thousands of pounds in the vain wish to turn the Princess of Wales' sister, Pippa Middleton, into a TV star. She saw the light and moved off. But now for Angela Kelly, as I say, according to a very good source, she's feeling very much left out, cut out, and not necessarily in the royal role, and even in the fact of the royal life, as it were. She does still have a grace and favour apartment out at Windsor Castle, but she hasn't been there for a long time. Apparently she's been travelling, trying to get over the late Queen's death. Let's not forget, this was a lady that basically gave up her own life to cement herself next to the monarch in those very dark hours of the pandemic. So some people might say she does deserve a little bit more. But moving forward on this particular story, it now seems, and as ever we have to say allegedly, that Angela could perhaps be persuaded to write a more detailed account of her life, albeit in a very complimentary way, about serving under such an iconic monarch of 70 years, Queen Elizabeth. This wouldn't be seen in very good light by His Majesty the King, the Queen Consort, and of course the Prince and Princess of Wales. As Harry openly spoke recently about detesting the former royal butler for what he did to his late mother, seemingly forgetting the fact that he's also doing the same thing. What it does look like in the case of Angela Kelly is she simply can't win either way. She's now no longer part of royal life, but seemingly can't find a way to move forward, even if she does need to retain a certain lifestyle to which she's now become rather accustomed via money. But either way, as we often say here on the show, money talks, and the bottom line is somebody, somehow, somewhere will decide exactly Angela's fate, because with money becomes, of course, a little bit more position, and seemingly Angela desperately wouldn't mind to be a little bit more in the limelight. So perhaps some senior royals maybe have been a little bit more correct than we first thought after all. What a mess once again. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.